Yo, what is up guys? Ethan here back with another video, and today we return with college football predictions. As today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the Miami Hurricanes. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Like many years in the past, tons and tons of hype are going to be put on the Miami Hurricanes this year. But unlike the past few years, I'm going to hop on the hype train for Miami, as I am a big believer in this Miami Hurricanes team. And the main reason is because of the quarterback and staff. We'll get into the quarterback in a second. But this brand new staff Miami got is ridiculous. You fired Manny Diaz from head coach, and you brought in Oregon's head coach in Mario Cristobal. And he's already having a day one impact with recruiting and overall bringing in new people. Mario Cristobal is going to be phenomenal with this team, in my opinion. Yes, he may choke a few games, but he's still a really good head coach. And you also bring in the Broyles Award winner from last year in Josh Gaddis, the offensive coordinator from Michigan. And I'm really going to be intrigued to see how Gaddis uses Tyler Van Dyke and those receivers in the offense. Miami ranks 46th in returning production for this upcoming season, returning 71% of their starters, 63% of their starters, which is 71st in the nation, and 80% of the defensive starters return for Miami, which is 23rd in the nation. And so this defense is going to be really, really good for Miami this upcoming season. But the main thing about this team for Miami that I'm going to be looking out for is this offense. Tyler Van Dyke, I was a huge believer in. I knew he wasn't going to play last year, but then De'Ara King got hurt. So Tyler Van Dyke was able to start throughout the majority of the season, and he was very impressive. Yes, you do lose your top wide receiver in Charleston Rambo, as he was a senior last year. But Tyler Van Dyke is only going to improve, and I think Josh Gaddis is really going to improvise this offense around the quarterback. So really look out for Tyler Van Dyke in this offense, and he could be a potential dark horse Heisman winner. Going into the running backs, talking about a big believer, I am a huge fan of Jalen Knighton, as I think he's going to be utilizing this offense so much. And we saw it a few times last year when he was catching the ball. And I would not be surprised if he gets like 3 catches a game and 15 rushing attempts per game. I think he's going to be very utilized in this offense. And with the amount of talent he showcased last year, and with the offseason getting better, Knighton is going to improve. And I think he's going to develop himself into a top 15 running back in the nation for this upcoming season. Behind Knighton, you do have tons of depth. You have Henry Parrish Jr. transferring in from Ole Miss. You have Thaddeus Franklin, Donald Chaney Jr., and then also you have a true freshman in Trevante Citizen. I'm not sure if Citizen is going to play, but overall, after Knighton, you have a really nice deep core. So in case Knighton gets hurt, you do still have some guys behind him. This wide receiver core is a little iffy for me, though. It wasn't that spectacular last year. And then, like I said, you do lose your number one guy in Charleston Rambo. Keyshawn Smith returns, though. Xavier Restrepo returns. Definitely butchered his name. Frank Ladson transfers in, so he's probably going to be that number 3 wide receiver. And Romello Brunson also returns. So there's a lot of youth on this wide receiver core, and it's a lot of talent. And I'm going to be very intrigued to see how Josh Gaddis utilizes them in this offense. And I'm just going to say one of them is going to break out. Who? It's probably going to be like Keyshawn Smith, but I'm not going to say any names as of right now. Somebody in that wide receiver core will break out this upcoming season. And then this offensive line is really good. Zion Nelson returns, so that's probably the main staple point with that offensive line. But like I said with the returning starters a few minutes ago, this defense, 23rd in returning starters for this upcoming season. And man, I love this Miami defense. James Williams is probably the dude I'm looking out for most in this secondary. Well, in this entire defense. He is built like a monster. He was really impressive in his true freshman season. He's only going to get better under Mario Cristobal. So I'm going to be very intrigued how well James Williams actually performs for this upcoming year. But overall, this entire secondary is really good. Tyreek Stevenson was transferred in, and he's going to be a junior for this upcoming season. He is probably like a top 15 cornerback, so he's definitely going to be able to lock down some top wide receivers. Even though I just started off with the secondary, the main focal point of this defense is that defensive line really star-studded with Jared Harrison-Hunte and Leonard Taylor. And if there is a key issue with this defense, it's probably that linebacking core, but still this linebacking core is stacked, as you do have Corey Flagg Jr. returning. You do have a senior transferring in Caleb Johnson, so he could probably get some playing time as well. So with this Miami defense, very, very good, very, very experienced. Last video, we talked about how great NC State's defense was last year and how many returning starters they have. Miami has the amount of talent to be better than NC State, so that's definitely something to look out for. And now as we go into this schedule, I'm not going to waste anybody's time. You're going to start off 2-0 as you beat Bethune Cookman and Southern Miss. And that third game, you have to go to College Station and face Texas A&M on the road. And if you watch my Texas A&M prediction, you already know where I'm going with this. I have Miami going to College Station and upsetting the Aggies. Personally, I know Texas A&M's defense is really good, but personally, I think Miami's offense is going to find ways to score at some point in the game. But on the other end of the ball, I think Miami's defense is going to be able to stop Texas A&M's offense. And overall, both of these defenses are going to show out in this game, but I think Miami's offense is going to be better than A&M's offense, and that's why I have Miami. This is going to be a close game. The 12th man's there, but I think the Hurricanes find a way to win. Also, if you look for the past few years, Mario Cristobal always has a game circled and utilizes that throughout the offseason. Maybe it's Clemson on the schedule towards the end part of the year, but I have a feeling it's going to be this Texas A&M game, and Miami starts off 3-0. The next game, you host Middle Tennessee. We're not going to waste anyone's time. Miami's also going to win this game. Then you have a bye week, and then you host North Carolina. I just think this is a bad matchup for North Carolina, as I think they're going to struggle to score in this one, even though you do have Josh Downs. I think Tyreek Stevenson's just going to be able to lock him up. I wouldn't actually be surprised if North Carolina scores more than like 17 points on this defense. And since this is in Miami Gardens, give me the Canes. Next, after that North Carolina game, you have to go to Blacksburg and face Virginia Tech. And even though I'm a big fan of Brent Pry and the staff that he brought in, I think the amount of talent of Virginia Tech is just not going to be able to compete with Miami in this one. This game is going to be close because of the atmosphere, of course. And it's like all games, it's very hard to play at Virginia Tech. But I do think at the end of the day, Miami's going to have the overall better talent. Virginia Tech really doesn't have a lot of starters returning on offense, so it's going to be hard to score for the Hokies, and Miami's going to win this game. This could potentially be a very low-scoring game as well, but the Canes win. Next game, you host Duke. I'm not going to waste your time. Miami will win this game by approximately like 30 points. In that next game, you go to Virginia Tech, and I have Virginia winning this game. And now Miami fans are going to be like, whoa, keyboard spammers. How did we go on the road and beat Texas A&M, but we lose at Virginia? Here's why. Mario Cristobal always loses a game that he's not supposed to lose. I'm an Oregon fan. I've witnessed this firsthand. We saw it last year at Stanford. This is the game on the schedule, I think. At first, when I entered the offseason, the Virginia Tech game was the game. But when I looked at the returning production, I really couldn't see a way that Miami actually loses that game. I think Miami's talent is just far superior for Virginia Tech. But yes, this is going to be a high-scoring game at Virginia, as Virginia defense is going to be bottom tier in the ACC. But I think this offense, you have the best receiver core in the ACC over there at Virginia. Brennan Armstrong returns. He's going to be a beast. And you also have a really good offensive line in Tony Elliott. And overall, I think they are going to be able to exploit Miami. Miami's not going to be able to focus on this game as much as that Clemson game is like that big circle. And you have that rivalry game next week versus Florida State. Miami's going to stumble at Virginia. This is going to be a high-scoring, close game. Cavaliers pull off the upset. And then that next week, you host Florida State. And I had Florida State losing this game from the get-go. But after you lose at Virginia, that's just adding the fuel to the fire for Miami. Miami, I think, is going to win this game by 15, 14 points. Definitely, potentially even more. Miami's going to win this game. Next game, you have to go to Georgia Tech. This is going to be a win. I liked Georgia Tech last year. They disappointed me. Now as you lose Jahmyr Gibbs, what is that offense? Nothing. Miami's going to win that game easily on the road. And now you have that second big game on this schedule at Clemson. And this is going to be a really good game. This could potentially be an ACC championship preview. And I think at the end of the day, Clemson's just going to find a way to win. At this point, the college football playoffs are out the window for them, as if you watch my Clemson prediction, I have them losing an upset at Boston College and at Notre Dame. So Clemson's season's basically over at this point, but they are still going to want to make the ACC championship game. They do have the front seat, as they did beat NC State, if you already saw those videos. And this is the must-win game for Clemson, and they're going to win, and they're going to want to go back to the ACC championship after not going last year. Clemson's going to win this game. The defense is going to win this game. I think Will Shipley or Kobe Pace is also going to have a monster game in this one. Going to be a close game, though. It's not going to be like how it was in 2020. The Tigers win. And then for that final game of the season, you host Pitt. This game could be the decider if Miami goes to the ACC championship or not. And as you saw in so many of my predictions, this is one of those games where it's like a 50-50 split, and I just go with the home team. And in this instance, Miami's the home team. I'm going to take the Hurricanes at home. This is going to be a close game either way, in my opinion. But Miami's going to pull away late at home, and they're going to win. And as we end the season, I have Miami going 10-2 for this upcoming season with an upset loss at Virginia, and then you lose at Clemson. But you do win that Texas A&M game, and then you also beat your rivals in FSU, and then probably another really good game, you beat Pitt. So Miami is going to have the qualifying wins to, if they, let's say they beat Virginia and lose at Clemson. Let's say if they win the ACC championship game, this is a playoff caliber team. The ceiling for this team, in my opinion, is 11-1 and a playoff appearance. The floor for this team is 8-4. There's no way I can see, kind of like how I said with Texas A&M, there's no way with the amount of talent on this team you do worse than 8-4. But I have Miami going 10-2 as the Canes, you are back. What is your prediction for the Miami Hurricanes? Let me know in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, push notifications on so you don't miss a video. And like always, have a good day. Peace out.